到底该给孩子报什么才艺班 ？How much does that cost for the competitive soccer?
Crazy.
Being able to drive them everywhere.
即使说2个时间冲突，我也没办法，我得给他报。
家长有压力啊。
对对对，
一个月大概是多少钱？这3堂课。哇，现在的家长对钱不眨眼。
It's about $100 a class.
Thought that was a little bit ridiculous. You've got 2 or 3 kids in there. I don't know how anyone could afford that.
这确实是一大笔钱，我不算过了多少就多少吧。
不想面对吗？
对。
有句俗话说，不要让孩子输在起跑点上，就是这句话让父母对孩子的教育越来越重视，鼓励他们从小就参加课外活动，已经是一种趋势。所以这集我来探讨什么样的才艺最重要，上这些课需要付出什么样的心血与花费，以及该如何平衡家庭的生活。在补习文化盛行的台湾，各大网站都可以看到整理出来的才艺班推荐，以及各类专家提倡孩子必须具备哪些能力的报道，仿佛不给孩子报1、2门才艺课，就是没跟上社会的潮流。
男孩就是丢着不管，他就会自己长大了。
只有不负责任的父母才会这样做。
而在西方国家，如我所在的加拿大，虽然没有补习的风气，可是给孩子报名课外活动也是很多家长的共识。根据本地的调查报告，近半数的家长会给孩子报至少1堂的才艺课，这之中有将近1/3的家长会给孩子报至少3堂以上。那孩子上才艺课的优点大家都知道，除了增强自信心，还有身心健康以及培养独立性之外，不同才艺带来的好处也都不尽相同。
pass 的时候，他是有一种成就感在，对自己的认同啊，都还是蛮有帮助的。
better with others, more caring.
He's shown leadership skills through his team too.
所以不管是在欧美还是亚洲，让孩子上什么才艺班，是许多家长都会需要花时间跟精力去研究的一个课题。
We live in a city, there's so many choices, so
Yeah, it's overwhelming.
yeah.
但随着市面上令人眼花缭乱的课程选择，以及水涨船高的生活费及育儿费，让我不禁问自己，究竟该选择哪门才艺课，又不会让自己破产的情况下，给孩子提供最佳的成长机会？既然3个臭皮匠胜过1个诸葛亮，与其自己一个人埋头苦闷，不如去听听不同人的意见。于是我到街上去询问温哥华的路人，想要知道家长们都给孩子报什么才艺班，以及他们是如何平衡家庭的生活与支出。Can you share what kind of extracurricular activities you have for your child?
Both are in soccer, swimming. She's in hockey. She's in competitive soccer, so she plays like 5 times a week.
My daughter has none. My sons are in soccer right now and track and field.
老大6岁，老二4岁，
都在这里。
老大几天没来，因为老大去上了才艺班，但有做体操，下午有一个画画，滑冰是在 weekday 的晚上。
Jiu-jitsu, swimming.
They are both in soccer, swimming, and
游泳课
Just swimming and dance classes.
Soccer class, swimming class, 冰、足球、画画、篮球、游泳，还有个体操。
哦，妹妹有体操。
对，
好，
然后
据报道，最受家长欢迎的才艺班是游泳课。
Swimming is kind of a non-negotiable for me.
It's important for him to learn how to swim.
It's more of a life skill, confident in the pool and for safety reasons.
除了因为是重要的生存技能之外，一部分的原因可能也是因为比较容易负担。
It's very cheap. It's about $53 something every 3 months.
你决定让他们报名这些才艺课的原因是什么？
就是让他们有事儿做，不要在家看 iPad。因为越来越大，他会觉得很容易觉得无聊，那你就要安排一下，让他们去做什么事情。
Convenience. I don't want to drive around like a taxi all the time, so the after school is very convenient. They go from their classroom to the program, and I pick them up at the same place I would normally.
They both love soccer. That's their personal choice.
They have a say in this decision-making process.
Yeah, except for swimming. Hockey was more of like, we just encouraged him to do something else because all of our friends' kids play hockey.
I asked them, and they really like the track and field, so.
Jiu-jitsu also for protecting himself is a good exercise.
Does he have a say?
Not for the after school because it's a combo, right?
根据 Ipsos 在2018年做出来的表格，各类才艺班所需要的花费之中，游泳排名最低，一年平均200左右，紧接着是足球，而受全加拿大疯狂的国家运动冰上曲棍球，因为相关装备及场地的费用，成为最不可负担的才艺班榜首。And how much does that cost for the competitive soccer? You don't know?
I don't know. I think it's like $1,200 or $1,400, so that's just from April to June.
So every month that would be like 400, 500?
Yeah.
一个月大概是多少钱啊？这3堂课。
Wow.
哇，现在的家长他们对钱不眨眼。
报的时候我有看，但是报过之后我就会忘掉这件事情。体操好像贵一些，一个学期的话，忘了是400还是600，都差不多这个样子。滑冰的话大概3个月的 program，200吧。
How much does it cost for the soccer program?
It's $120 for the younger one day a week. $200 for the older one. That's 2 days a week. Track and field is very reasonable. It's $10 a class.
The jiu-jitsu he goes for the after school. Every day, Monday to Friday, $500 a month.
Piano is private lessons, $30 per
A class?
lesson.
OK， 在预算有限又想让孩子体验才艺的情况下，大部分的家长都选择报名社区中心的才艺课。
社区的就会稍微价格好一些，因为社区相当于有福利性质在嘛。
If you do more like recreation sports, it's not as expensive because usually the coaches are parents instead of a paid coach, and that's usually what the cost is.
$80, $90 each.
For 2 months?
Yeah.
$10?
Yeah, it wasn't too expensive.
Is it from the community center?
Yeah.
有些俱乐部的课，体操平均1节25，芭蕾的话也是25，平均都20到25之间吧。
但是也是有宁愿花大把钱把孩子送去私人机构的家长。
我有听说过有些比较好的顶尖的地方，有时候1节课要50。包括你才初学，它都要50-60都有。
She does white cap soccer as well, which is expensive. I don't know how much. Most expensive thing is swimming.
It's swimming.
It's expensive because the community centers are really hard to get into, so you have to do private. You do it through Paddlehead. She's at a high level. She's at level 7. It's about $100 a class.
And sometimes you have 2 or 3 times a day.
Sometimes.
So that adds up. Every month.
The martial arts, you have to pay for the whole year up front. That to me seems a lot. My daughter was going to go into a drama program. It was like $600 for maybe a month. I thought that was a little bit ridiculous. You've got 2 or 3 kids in there. I don't know how anyone could afford that.
那家长们报名才艺班，不管是社区提供的还是私人的，都希望在孩子身上能够看到什么结果呢？ What result do you anticipate from your child's participation in these activities?
My daughter, her goal is to be a competitive soccer player.
So be the next Christine Sinclair, yes.
It's more just keeping them busy, having them physically active, and then building different bonds.
So right now I live with my parents, so she doesn't have a chance to socialize with other kids a lot. So I'm hoping that through the classes she can hang out with other kids her age and socialize.
I hope he could learn sharing stuff with other kids.
让他们能够坚强，不要遇到一点什么东西。像这种运动类的，你随时都会被人撞击、受伤什么的。我要让他们勇敢一点。我觉得这没什么大不了的，只要真的没到那种很严重的程度。被人磕磕碰碰，我觉得这是很正常的事情。
让孩子上才艺班，除了能够有不一样的体验之外，伴随而来的就是背后需要付出的时间跟金钱。
Getting them out the door at 10 a.m. is a little bit tricky on a Saturday morning.
How are the schedule like for them?
Crazy. Monday he has one thing. Tuesday he has swimming. She has soccer. Wednesday.
Pretty much 1 activity per day for each child.
No. It's like, I don't know. Essentially, there's an activity or 2 every day.
The scheduling can be difficult, being able to drive them everywhere. Right now, 2 kids, both parents at either game, you know, so.
时间你是怎么安排的？
一般是错开，今天是妹妹，明天是哥哥，就是基本错开，好吗？好像是先2个人同时滑冰，现在是哥哥正在踢足球，妹妹现在正在画画。平时的话就是。
所以基本上1天1个。
对，我只能这样错开，因为平时我先生要上班，没办法，只能全部我自己。画画是因为他们2个很喜欢，所以我即使说2个时间冲突，我也没办法，我得给他报。如果他不报，他会不停的问你我什么时候开始画画？我什么时候课才开始？
家长有压力啊。
对对对。
So did you anticipate the financial impact or time commitment when it comes to higher level playing?
When my kids were younger, I didn't realize, like you don't realize. You hear about people becoming chauffeurs for their kids.
有些妈妈是很厉害，她是把这个放在这边，另一个她就跑送另一个。但对我来说，我可能是不想距离他们太远，因为我担心说一旦他有什么问题，他要来找我，我顾不来。
She's 2 years old, so I guess you have to participate too.
Yes, and I work full time, so my parents take her to the classes.
Oh, okay. So you have to cooperate with your parents.
Yeah.
因为我有全职工作，我很想去参加的一个课程，关于工作上进修的，跟大女儿星期4的那一堂滑冰是正好时间重叠。我先生他也是全职工作，会有这种时候。
目前是以孩子的才艺课为优先，自己的进修可能就看能不能在其他的。
我是希望能2全啊，但是有的时候没有办法，鱼与熊掌。
In the future, are you thinking of having her involved in more activities?
Yes, I grew up doing a lot of activities like piano and stuff, and I know private lessons can be really costly, so those are kind of expenses I see in the future.
根据新闻报道，我们平常在预算生活的开销通常没有太大问题，反而是夏令营和冬令营这种才艺班的突发性消费，让许多的家庭措手不及。本地调查有超过半数的家长认为，给孩子报才艺班令家庭财务变得困难，甚至有30%的家长为此陷入负债。虽然如此，大部分的家长还是认为给孩子报才艺班是值得的。
他如果表现出了某一个领域的有一些值得去做的话，该花时间就花时间，该花钱就花钱。
Yeah, for sure I anticipate it, but I want her to enjoy her life.
不能辜负了孩子的天赋。
为了能顺利让孩子上课外活动，家长们又是怎么控制自己的预算呢？
Say we spend $20,000 on kids' activities a year.
Every year.
You have to earn, say, double that to pay for it. Because also sometimes there's like spring break camp or a summer camp, or you have to look at, okay, I want my kids in all these sports, but does it make sense? Pay $40,000 of our income to be put towards this.
温哥华本地的一位财务规划师 Kathy Hurlbert 指出，我们可将生活开销拆分为固定、浮动跟突发这3类。固定开销就是指退休金之类的储蓄，浮动开销就是每月的基本生活消费，突发开销则像是夏令营和才艺班。他建议可以单独开一个账户，专门放突发的开支。假如孩子的才艺班每年的开销要3000元，那每个月就固定放250到这个账户之中，就不会令人这么措手不及了。跟大家分享我家2姐妹上过哪些才艺课，以及目前正在上哪些。姐姐 Yuffie 还没上小学的时候，我有带她上过跳舞课、足球课、芭蕾课、音乐课、画画课、手作课、游泳课、森林课、厨艺课等等。现在看来挺多的。当时是想让她接触不同的体验，而且时间其实也配合得了。当时还小，其实很多时间都在玩，然后她其实很大部分的时间都不知道自己在干嘛。但其实我觉得这个目的不是为了要让她真的学到什么，而是让她能够体验不同的东西，去接触不同的人，也顺便观察一下她的兴趣在哪里。
Try to sign up for what you can, try it out, right? And then like you don't have to do all of them. You just see what your child enjoys doing and then choose 2 or 3 that you want to stick with. If they really like something, then maybe that's where you have to start committing more money and more time to it.
然后说到上才艺班来培养孩子的性格或者是人际关系，其实老实说，我觉得很大的一部分还是要看孩子本身的气质因为不可能说一个气质敏感的孩子上了才艺班之后就突然变得开朗活泼。像 Yuffie 她的天生性格就比较内敛一点，上了这么多的才艺课到现在，性格依旧内敛。但我相信一定多少会帮助她打开视野。那有了多元的学习经验，我相信日后就会转化成他独有的能力来应付这个世界的挑战。
我觉得项目是什么不重要，只要他能找到他喜欢做的事情，能坚持做下去就行。
你有考虑给他们报钢琴课？
有考虑，钱还没买。我自己不会，但是呢，我很喜欢音乐。我虽然自己不会，但我是音乐爱好者。你将来不一定要从事这个，但是你对艺术的审美，从小有这个教育也好，对他将来的视野的开阔呀、思维什么都是有帮助的。
我们就像是把一颗种子给种下去，等到它发芽开花的一天，看它会长成什么样子。
现在刚开始就像一张白纸，你想往下面画什么都很快。
Them exposed to all these things when they're young, so then when they get older, they have some skills. They're able to continue throughout their life.
那我家妹妹 Ellie 的话，我之前是给她报足球课跟游泳课，那我也曾经给他们报名体操课。那2个人上一上之后呢，就突然说不想上了，然后我就停了，也没有给他们继续上。结果最近他们突然说又想上了。Imagine the situations where your child loses interest in soccer or swimming. How would you handle that?
Last year, actually, he was not interested going to soccer class. But we forced him to do it. That's a question. I actually have no idea. What other parents say?
How do you handle the situations where your child loses interest in an activity that you've already invested time and money in?
If they don't want to go to something, I will never not let them go to swimming because it's so expensive. To pay $800 for like 7 classes, that's a lot. Like if they're sick or something, that would be the only reason they would miss it.
We're not expecting you to be a professional here, and it's just to be fun, and you know, you don't have to do it forever if you don't like it, but we've made a commitment. Let's kind of stick it through. It's only a few months.
我会问他什么理由，如果说是因为队友 或者是因为那个环境让他不舒服的话，那我可能会先去帮他了解一下具体情况。如果是因为他个人的原因，真的是因为这个东西他不适合，会跟他说，那我们坚持到底，就是坚持到这学期结束，就后面我不报。
坚持一下。
Ask one of our friend kids going to the same class.
So he has more motivation. He's more willing to go because he has a friend.
Yeah.
We were in piano, and that was something that I would have to force them to practice. And I was like, I don't want to do this anymore. This is not worth it. I don't know how to play piano. I can't teach them.
It is the child's interest. If they're not interested in it, it definitely makes it much harder.
And why did you want to have them play piano in the first place?
I think it's important to have like sports and musical instruments. It's really good for your brain development when you learn how to play an instrument.
除了之前提到的才艺课之外，我也常带两姐妹去参加不同机构举办的一些 story time 或 play time。那疫情期间的时候，也有让他们上过线上的中文课，也有一些其他数不清的课程跟 play day， 我其实根本就数不起来了。我觉得能够有机会带他们到处看、到处听，比起在家待着，反而还轻松一点。
放学完接走去学一个东西，让他们玩一下，开心，好回家，相当于说他放了个电，吃个晚饭，然后他们可以自己玩一会儿，然后就睡觉。其实我觉得这样安排挺好。如果他们在家，他们不知道干嘛，他们也不知道干嘛。
那现在两姐妹在上的固定的才艺课有中文课跟钢琴课，季节性的是有游泳课跟溜冰课，一个月大概要600块左右。老实说，中文不能算是一种才艺课，但是对于我们加拿大出生的这两个小 CBC 姐妹来说，中文就是她们的语言课。那里面也能学习到许多的中华文化，同时学习东方的思维，我觉得很重要，因为认识爸爸妈妈原本的文化，就能够帮助他们更认识自己。
这个没得商量，就不用看你有没有兴趣。
是，还有呢，对。Besides soccer and swimming, have you researched other activities?
Chinese school. My husband is Chinese. Japanese, I try to teach him. I later do him to learn Chinese more than Japanese. More language, more better for sure.
然后暑假就要来了，让许多家庭一次性破财的大魔王夏令营就要登场那这边很多的家长呢，都会给小孩报名那种全天的班，就是大概6、7小时的那一种。那所以价格也会比较高一点。之前给老大报名的时候觉得还可以，现在小的也大了，也已经可以报了，所以等于就是预算要 double 啊！
哎呦，我觉得这确实是一大笔钱，我不算过了多少就多少吧。
不想面对吗？这里给各位参考一下，如果每周都安排全天的才艺课的话，2个小孩子就至少预算要3000块以上一个暑假，而且还只是社区的，还不包括私人的，所以这方面就是大家可以有个心理准备一下。最后，我想要分享一下我对于给孩子上才艺班的想法，不管是希望学到什么，或只想让孩子快乐学习，只要有时间有预算，而且孩子也很享受的情况下，想要报什么课都 OK 的，没有说一定是哪一个才艺才是最好的。
每个家长对待孩子的期许也不同，我只能代表一类家长，就是不那么卷，但是又不想让孩子浪费时间的那种。考虑到经济和时间的支出的话，在孩子比较小的时候，在社区先充分利用一下这个公共资源，多报几种，让他找一找孩子的兴趣点在哪里，有明确的兴趣点，再着重去发展这一项。
You don't have to put your kids in all these paid extracurricular. You can do things at a park. You can do things on your own time. You can play basketball. You can play soccer. You can play tennis, and you have the ability to like play with them or find someone else that wants to play with them. There are those options.
而且很多技能不是只有花钱上课才能学到，像是安排 play date 与人交流，或者是到户外自由自在的玩耍，甚至发呆看天空，都能够从中学习到什么。
Into competitiveness of everything. You got to do everything at the same. You know, all the parents are putting the kids in dance. I got to do it too. Just be home and enjoy your kids and go to the park and.
所以我认为没上课待在家也都是没问题的。因为很多的创意点子都是无聊的时候想出来的。根据神经学专家的研究，无聊可以激发创意，让灵感涌现。你有没有曾经在洗澡的过程中突然冒出一个好玩的点子来？这都是脑子在看似无聊的时间里，因为得到休息而浮出了一直存在深处的灵感。休息就是为了走更长远的路。孩子的人生还很长，所以我们不需要一口气就塞一堆的活动给孩子。学才艺80都不嫌晚。重要的是要有兴趣，真的喜欢就会主动去投入。
芭蕾课学了半年，突然间在圣诞节的那个演出之后，他就跟我说我不想去了，去就不去了，开心就好，他不开心就不用了。所以现在选的是他真的很 happy， 他自己愿意去的。
As a child, how many classes did you attend?
I grew up in Whistler. So I did skiing, gymnastics, piano, choir. As I grew older, I'd choose which one I wanted to stick with.
Your parents didn't force you to participate?
No, they just started me off in a lot of them. And then if I liked it, then I'd stay. If I don't like it, then I quit. They weren't the typical like Asian tiger parents.
You're open-minded.
Yeah.
You're so lucky to have those parents.
Yeah. So I think I have a similar mindset with my child. I want her to do what she enjoys.
然后除了上课之余，孩子有没有享受到他童年该有的时光？有没有能够无拘无束的自由奔跑？最重要的是有没有时间无聊？这之间该怎么平衡？就让我们大家一起好好的想一想了。
说实在的，有的时候要面对现实，接受孩子的平庸，有可能的啊。身体好，健康第一位，然后开开心心的，然后再说别的。
说得好，这集就到这边。如果想看加拿大更多生活的影片，可以看这一集。我们下期见，拜拜。